Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, we're diving into Xenon Pharmaceuticals' latest 10K filing, their annual report. It's like their yearly company diary where they spill all the secrets, or at least the ones they're legally required to share. Get ready for twists, turns, and maybe a few financial surprises, because let's be honest, corporate reports are never quite as exciting as they sound. Their key drug is azetukalner, and it's their biggest hope for treating epilepsy, major depressive disorder, and bipolar disorder. They're in phase 3 clinical trials for epilepsy, which is pretty far along. There are multiple studies going on right now in hopes that the drug is safe and effective. They did a phase 2b trial that showed the drug significantly reduced seizure frequency in patients with focal epilepsy. There was a median percent reduction from baseline in monthly focal seizure frequency. And the higher the dose, the better it worked. Now, this was phase 2, so it's still early, but it's promising. In another interesting tidbit from the phase 2 trial, it seemed to work very well for the severest of patients that experience type 4 focal seizures. What's a type 4 focal seizure? Well, those lead to generalized tonic-clonic seizures, so the medicine appears to work where it counts. But Xenon is also looking beyond epilepsy. They think this drug might be useful in neuropsychiatric disorders like major depressive disorder, MDD. They've got a phase 3 program underway for MDD and are planning one for bipolar depression. Their phase 2 trial for MDD showed some positive signs, but it wasn't statistically significant in the primary endpoint, but was however statistically significant with the HAM-D17 endpoint for depression. It also seemed to help with anhedonia, which is the inability to feel pleasure. These are promising indications for future studies. But it's not just about azetukalner. They're also working on new potassium and sodium channel therapeutics. The plan is to start clinical trials for multiple new drugs in 2025. Xenon has a partnership with Neurocrine Biosciences to develop treatments for epilepsy, including NBI-921355, a NaV1.2/1.6 sodium channel inhibitor. That drug has progressed into a phase 1 trial which will trigger a nice $7.5 million milestone payment for Xenon. Here's a bit of drama. The agreement lets Neurocrine basically cut all payments in half if Xenon screws up. That's a pretty big incentive to stay on their best behavior. Patents are everything in the drug business because without them there is no way to get returns on your products. Xenon has a plan to protect everything they discover. They had 21 US-issued patents, 78 in other countries, and over 355 pending patent applications. Now, Xenon doesn't operate in a vacuum. This is a dog-eat-dog world, so Xenon needs to keep ahead of the competition. They're up against big pharmaceutical and biotech companies, as well as academic institutions and research outfits. These competitor firms also happen to be developing a lot of the same drugs to target the same diseases such as epilepsy, MDD, and BPD. Some of these competing therapies are SSRIs, atypical antipsychotics. There are also several companies working on new treatments for MDD, including AbbVie Inc. and Johnson & Johnson. A pharmaceutical company can't just do whatever it wants. There's a whole alphabet soup of agencies and laws they have to comply with: the FDA, EMA, the Controlled Substances Act, anti-corruption laws. It's a regulatory minefield. Violating any of these can lead to serious consequences: fines, product recalls, even criminal proceedings. These risks and compliance costs could have a material negative effect on Xenon's business. On top of all this, there are global anti-corruption laws. Xenon can be held liable for bribes even if they're made by a third-party agent. Noncompliance could mean investigations, big fines, and a damaged reputation. The pharmaceutical market and industry can change rapidly. If the ACA changes or if pricing and payment policies are reformed, it could change the market. They really hammered home how many people the company employs, as well as that they don't discriminate, and instead they have support. Let's check on some financials. First, the balance sheet, which tells us about what they own and what they owe. As of December 31st, 2024, they have almost $800 million in assets. Most of that is in cash, marketable securities, and investments. Diving deeper into their finances, they're still operating at a loss. The key financials are here. They report a net loss of $234.3 million for the year. It's a big number, and it seems that it has increased from previous years. Most of their money is going towards research and development. They also mention currency risk because a lot of their expenses are in Canadian dollars. If the Canadian dollar gets too strong, that's bad for Xenon since their costs go up relative to their revenue. This is why they might engage in exchange rate hedging activities. What is the risk for the company? That trials will take too long, and if trials take too long, there might be a product with better safety and effectiveness. What are they doing about this? The most important thing they do is to establish good relationships and partnerships. The FDA can give accelerated approval based on limited data if a drug targets a serious condition. But there is no guarantee that the drug continues to perform and have the accelerated approval upheld. As of December 31, 2024, the company has 327 employees, including 316 full-time and part-time permanent employees. The company states that employee morale remains strong as they continuously strive to make the environment positive.